This is great. So let me give you an update on guns and just proof positive how out of touch the elite is. This is from the New York Times. Supreme Court is expected to rule and possibly overturn a century-old law that allows local officials great discretion over who can carry a handgun. It tells a story every weekday morning in a nondescript office building in downtown Manhattan. Representatives from dozens of law enforcement agencies meet to discuss gun arrests and shootings in New York City from the day before. Already this year, the New York Police Department has recovered more than 3,000 guns. Well, or were those legally registered guns? What kind of guns? Don't you think that's important to know? Were these handguns that were purchased legally? And then how were they used? Were they used by the people that purchased them legally? So they're talking about how the Supreme Court is coming out here in the next couple of weeks with a case that they heard back in November, and they're expected to turn this over, and it would have massive consequences all over the country for states like California and New York. So one of the guys, the president of the nonprofit Citizens Crime Commission, is quoted in the New York Times. Now, I want you to listen to this. A lot more people are going out now, and they want to go out and get guns, and all for the wrong reasons. Okay, Richard Aborn, I tried to think before I read on, what are the wrong reasons? Well, the only wrong reason I can think of is you wanted to rob somebody, you wanted to kill somebody, you wanted to intimidate someone. That's the wrong reason for buying a gun, correct? No, not to him. He said, I have people telling me now they decided to get a gun that I never dreamed would go out and get a gun. They're not going to use it illegally, but they're feeling this need to arm themselves because of crime in a way I've not seen before. That's not a wrong reason to get a gun. That is the reason to get a gun. That is the reason, as stated in the Second Amendment, a right for your self-defense from not only criminals, but an out-of-control state or Fed. Oh, my gosh.
Isn't it true, too, Glenn, that if you really cared about this issue and you believed more guns in the hands of people are the real problem here causing the violence, the last thing in the world you would do is bring up a obviously doomed effort to try to repeal or get rid of the AR-15 or try to change the age of firearms or whatever crazy thing they're going to reach for and ask for a vote. Gathering more attention, right, on these bills makes people go out and buy guns because they know that they're being threatened. So if you actually believe these things and you knew, obviously, that this was not going to work, why would you want to draw all attention to it? You might want to go around the margins and say maybe we're going to talk about some version of whatever it is, red flag laws or something like that. But when they reach like this, you saw the president of the United States say he basically wanted to get rid of 9mm ammunition, right? Like this is
oh no! Wait. Wait, I've got another story. Have you heard the story from New York on what Kathy Hochul has done? She's the governor now of New York. She yesterday signed in, I think, 9 or 10 bills that have now just been passed that she recommended. They've all been approved by the Democratic lawmakers for New York. They're raising the age of semi-automatic weapons, so no 18-year-old, as she says, can walk in after having their birthday cake and buy a semi-automatic weapon. Okay, so that's one. Senate Bill S-9458 is the name of the bill. No one under 16 could buy and possess a long gun ranging from a shotgun to a rifle. Now it's 21. But hey, at 18, you can go and sign up to kill people in other countries, with a gun, weapon of war. Just want to say.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, this is fascinating.
Then we have We're both so gun shy right now. We just don't want to talk because of the satellite delay. Then we have Senate Bill 9407B, which prevents citizens from purchasing body armor and bulletproof vests. Senate Bill 9456 changes now listen to this, changes the definition of a firearm to include, and I quote, any other weapon that is not otherwise defined, containing any component that provides housing or a structure designed to hold or integrate any fire control component that is designed to or may readily be converted to expel a projectile by action of explosive. They're calling this the Any Other Weapon Bill. Wow. Okay. That's good. Then they're also enacting microstamping technology, requiring the bullets to be microstamped with identifying information unique to the source gun. This will bypass ballistic tests. It'll also make your ammunition more expensive in any other state. These gun companies should just say, we're not going to, you know what, New York, we're not going to do it. It's like the gasoline. The reason why everybody's paying so much is because we're all going on the California blend right now, and it's just jacking up prices everywhere. I think these refineries should say, you know what, California, you're going to be on the battery anyway, so we're just not going to make your special blend anymore. The rest of the country, doesn't mind having a little gas from time to time. Then they also, in New York, established a task force on social media and violent extremism. Well, that's going to be good. I'm sure they're not going to look into that New York Muslim compound that we talked about years ago that was housing all kinds of radicals. And they were like, what radicals? I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean, Muslim town? Wait, that doesn't exist. It was nuts. But this one, they're all over.
It really is a fascinating dynamic when you look at the entire debate here, because the left is pushing for new gun laws. Okay, we know they want to restrict Second Amendment. We know they want to take guns away. But let's just say, let's go down this road for a second and let's pass all of these restrictions on guns. Okay, so now we have a bunch of new gun laws. What do you need to do with gun laws for them to be theoretically successful? You need to enforce them. Now, to enforce them, what you need are police, which the left wants to get rid of. And so let's just say, for some reason, they skip that one of their core, of their core beliefs, and say, okay, fine, we're going to have lots of new police to enforce all of these new laws. Who is disproportionately going to be affected by all of these gun laws? Who do you think is going to be in, let's say, a city, maybe attached to a gang, attached to a criminal enterprise in a city environment? Who are the people we are going to get? Who are going to get the bulk of all of these new gun convictions? It's going to wind up falling on people that are poor, that are in inner cities, that may be people of color. And what you'll see from the left then is to tell us why there is this prison or this school to prison pipeline where all of these young African Americans are being put in prison for all of these laws. And obviously, if you follow the Ibram Kendi, Robin DiAngelo white fragility mindset, any law that results in disproportionate affectation of African Americans or any other person of color is inherently racist. So all of these laws that they're wanting to pass are going to wind up by their own definition to be racist, and yet they're still pushing them anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. I'm convinced that progressives have been racist and have just hid it very well. They've been racist since the early 20th century, and I just think they've hid it very well. And not hiding it very well, really. If you would just stop... If African Americans would stop and look what the policies have done to their families, to their jobs, and everything else, you might understand who the real racist is. By the way, the president has said, who would use it? You don't need an AR-15 to protect yourself. Let me give you this. A 8-month pregnant woman had to defend her then 11-year-old daughter and herself and her injured husband during a violent home invasion in Lithia, Florida. Her husband, Jeremy King, was being pistol whipped and kicked in the head by 2 masked burglars. She said, quote, "Them guys came in with 2 normal pistols and my AR stopped it." She said, the husband said, "My wife evened the playing field and kept them from killing me. They came in heavily hooded and masks. As soon as they had got to the back door and got it open, they had their pistol on me. I was grabbing my 11-year-old daughter. I'm telling them I have nothing for you. And they said, give me everything you got. And then it became real violent, real fast. The burglars, who wore masks and hoods, pistol whipped and repeatedly bashed King in the head. He had drawn a weapon on them. They quickly took it away from him. And that's when she, who was in the back bedroom, poked her head out. One of the burglars shot at her, and so she got an AR-15 from the bedroom and shot them. So that was the end of that. But other than that, I can't imagine who would use an AR-15 to protect themselves in their homes.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from Blaze TV, with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.